Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Lana and welcome to my very first episode of my podcast. Lana, what the fuck do you mean? Are you gonna start a podcast? Yep. Okay, so this video is gonna be a prologue of my podcast series. I don't really want to count this video as my first ever podcast episode because in this video, I'm just gonna explain what made me to start podcast, the name of the podcast, what I'm gonna talk about, or just anything and everything about this podcast. Just introduction time. Yeah. So the name of the podcast is gonna be A Walk in the Park. I just googled a definition of a walk in the park and it says a walk in the park is an English idiom that means something is very easy, simple, or requires very little effort. Okay, so here is the background story of me and this idiom. I know some of you already know this, but I'm a huge fan of Bibadoobie. Yep, that English artist Bibadoobie. And there is a song called See You Soon, and one day I was listening to it and it says, "It's a walk in the park, you said it's not that hard." So I'm like, what the heck does that even mean? Because I'm not a native English speaker. So I googled it and then I found the definition of it. And then I'm like, that is such a weird expression. That is so weird. For me, a piece of cake is so easy, but a walk in the park? I'm pretty sure that who gave the meaning to an idiom, a walk in the park, as like easy stuff, I know that person is an extrovert. Because what do you mean a walk in the park is easy? Have you ever gone through depression before? So from that day, this phrase kind of settled in my head permanently, kinda, because I think it's so funny. So I was always like, someday I want to use this. So I thought this is the perfect timing. But honestly, the main reason is that my English is so easy to understand because I don't really use like big words. I don't know them because I don't know them. I just simply don't know them. I only use active words that native speakers actually really use in their daily basis. Difficult words, I have no idea. Like, I learned English to survive. So if you're a non-native English speaker and if you're a beginner trying to learn English, then my podcast could be pretty helpful because it's a walk in the park, you know? Especially, and as a person who was gone through depression for the last like 2 years, I'm pretty much fine now. In like literal way, not in the idiom way. I want my videos and my podcast episodes to feel like a walk in the park to some people. So I'm like, yeah, that's a good meaning. And here's the reason why I thought I need to start a podcast. I am getting uncomfortable with my English these days. I cannot really speak English. And I hate it. I just hate it. So you might think this is kind of selfish, but this is actually for my English practice, English speaking practice, especially the public speech. And I also recently saw somebody said, if you are overthinker, you need to overcreate. Yeah, that was something like that. So I'm like, oh my god. Like, as a professional overthinker, I'm like, yeah, I think too much. So maybe I should just let it out. And I actually think a lot. I left a lot of memo on my memo app or my journals. So I think a lot about like several things. And actually people on my channel, like subscribers on my channel, thank you. Like, I love you guys always. Those people are always like, I love hearing you yapping. I love hearing you talking, yada yada yada. So yeah, that's also the reason. I already have some episode ideas listed on my memo app. And I'm gonna talk about anything and everything, just like I always did on my channel, but in like chatty way. Yeah, I think it could be fun. Yeah, it could be fun. I'm gonna talk about my mental illness, and I'm also gonna talk about my daily routines and some of my favorites and some things I hate as well. And you know, I don't know, basically just anything and everything. But I cannot really say that I'm gonna post this every single week or every other week. I'm just gonna post whenever I want. And I'm just gonna film whenever I feel chatty. So that's the posting plan. Also, I'm thinking I just want to do this in this video form instead of the audio form. And I have no idea if I'm also gonna post this on Spotify or other podcast apps because I don't know, I've never really thought about that. I just want to do this in my YouTube channel. But if I ever feel like I want to post this on Spotify as well, then I'm going to do that. And also, I'm not really going to separate my YouTube channel because my channel is already kind of small. So I'm like, why would I separate those, you know? Okay, then that is pretty much it for the podcast prologue. I think that was enough amount of explanation and introduction. So I will see you in the very first podcast episode later. I have no idea when I'm going to post, but you know, yeah, it's gonna be soon though. I also can't wait and it's gonna be so fun. So I will see you later. Bye.